Hello and welcome to the third and final video looking at Orks in Battlefleet Gothic Armada. So in this video we're going to cover some basic strategy and tactics. So Orks, it's fairly simple. Rush towards the enemy, shoot them lots and try and board them. Now in saying that, obviously if you've gone ordnance heavy, you can try and keep distance and just fly the ordnance at them. But personally not my preferred tactic with Orks. While you can have a lot of ordnance, it's not necessarily overly strong, and also Ork ships are slow, which makes it hard for them to maintain the distance. But hell, if you want to go for it, go for it. I personally run Zap heavy with the Zap upgrades that allow me to bypass shields and slow the enemy. So this allows me to stay on top of them with the rest of my weapons, and also bypassing them, doing direct damage to their actual hull. And especially with something like the battleship here, where I have 3 Zap guns, that can be a lot of damage. So that's my personal style. Obviously you don't have to stick with it, but one that I have found to be effective. So without any further ado, let's see how we go in some battle with them. Okay, we're going up against the Imperial Navy. Well, this ought to be pretty good. Nice simple cruiser clash, no special stuff happening. Okay, so one really awesome thing about Orks, cheap ships. This means you could have a lot of ships. So I can actually run a battleship, both my battle cruisers, and 2 of my cruisers. Now you'll notice that my cruisers, I've chose the 2 lowest level. This is just because I like to keep everything more or less of an equal level in the same category. This just means that when my bigger ones do get injured, I will take them with my elite games, especially the every 10 level game, that I will actually have, hopefully, a good backup in place. A lovely flyby. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the battlefield here. We can see it both in the minimap and just by a quick scan around. We have some gas clouds, some asteroids, but they're right on the edge, probably not going to come into play, and back in the deployment zone, definitely not going to come into play. Just a piece of immovable terrain, essentially, a celestial body as they call it. Yeah, it'll stop stuff, but it's right back here, also probably not going to come into play, so it's mostly just going to be these gas clouds in the middle that'll come into play. So, knowing the AI, it's generally going to like to try and hide some ships in here usually. So I think I'm going to set up fairly close and sort of just pierce in between the 2 here and see how we go. Right, so let's get cracking. So, battleship right up the front. Chuck all that stuff on auto. I actually want him back at 6. I'm going to do the same thing with my battle cruisers. Back at 6. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing this with Orks? Surely being up close and personal is what they want. Well, yes, it is beneficial both in terms of the fact their accuracy suffers at that longer range, and because of the fact that they are just likely to want to board more, especially as you can see I have my WAG upgrade here. But with them all at 3, things can get very crowded, it becomes very hard to maneuver. So I just tend to go with the cruisers, as I have the shorter range weapon on the front and the WAG ability on them, which means they're going to be boarding. Right, you'll also notice I haven't auto-WAG'd. This is because it just doesn't tend to. So you're best off just keeping that manual. Right, that looks like everything. Let's just start sending these forward. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got 7 enemy ships in total I'm going to have to take out. It looks like most of them are coming in this general direction. So let's point my ships in that general direction. And as you just heard, we get some lovely torpedoes. And then look, so we have 2 types of torpedoes. We have boarding torps and normal torps. So at this range, I tend to use the boarding torps when there's more of a chance of hitting my own ships, and I don't have any on the cruisers. So as you can see, I'm now getting this lovely spread of torpedoes just heading right for this. Now the other thing I'm going to do is now should be a good time to send out my probes, because they're not now going to just be wasted as they go back into the clouds.
What you want?
Yeah, he's going to
Orks is best.
He's going to need to maneuver him
You
around
want
it.
us over here?
Not quite so bad against Ork ships as some of the other ships, as they have a lot anyhow. And straight away you can see the zap gun got through those shields, and so did another one. Like, they've already taken half their damage, and they haven't even lost shields, and there it goes. Right, yeah, these guys attacking some stuff.
You got it, boss.
Damn, running silent.
He's ready.
Let's get these guys attacking stuff. There we go. Just take these out first. Alright. So shields back.
Hold on
We'll
to
do that.
something.
You can do that. And
Oh, that's space
do
junk.
that. Forward.
You got it.
So this will now bring this
He's ready.
They were outside flag range, we're inside that one. And he's already lost one. Oh, there we go. Alright, so only boarding actions are actually affected. Oh, no, I don't think we'll leave that.
Stop all over the enemy ship. Locked on, boss.
Right, wrong one. That one, yes.
Please stop all over the enemy
Right,
ship.
I'm gonna do that. And that actually goes good areas for that.
Oh, guide us.
Oh, and I'm just gonna miss. Well, that's take out this last small ship
Enemy
here.
ship sighted.
Oh, there's their big ship. I told you, AI tends to like to hide in.
What you want?
So now that we've got that sorted,
Going
we're
go
just going to
faster.
send them that way. And
Go, guide
fire
us.
off the corpse.
Orks is best.
And there.
Enemy ship sighting. You got it.
Right.
Back boys, get away, you lazy kids. Here we go.
And so if I can get this right, because this is going to...
Speed.
Ah, he stopped the prick.
Yes.
Nope, still hitting him.
Full decker. freer! Enemy ship sighted!
Yeah, he can stay here forever. And there he goes.
You got it, boss!
Just keep heading this way.
You got it! Enemy ship sighted! Go get him,
There you
boss!
go.
Red boys! Get to work, you lazy gits!
Ah, of course. Alrighty, so
Hold on
he's
to
going to want
something.
protection. I can't do anything with
Who's
him.
ready?
Let's go some boarding torps and see if we can't get that generator taken out.
You got it. Locked on, boss.
And he's too
I'm
far
back
back.
in
I'll do
charge.
that myself.
Yeah.
And once those shields go down,
We stopped all over the enemy ship. Big boys, get to work, you lazy gits. We smashed up on the enemy ship.
and now you can see I've got one behind him, and this is really going to hurt him.
That's not supposed to burn. Fix it.
And let's just charge him again. And that'll be it. Right, so as you can see with orcs, you want to get up in their face and you want to ram them when you can. But as you also saw, once you start going, you can't stop. So you want to time it right if you can. That was pretty much orcs in a nutshell. As you saw, I just headed straight for them, fired the torps that I had at them, just covering a nice spread. You could see the effect there of the zap cannons being able to go through the shields, where I pretty much already had a ship gone and it pretty much hadn't lost any shields. Also, as you saw, ramming ships very effective with orcs, but can be a bit tough to line up sometimes. That's the way things go. So yeah, orcs, they keep it simple, as you might expect from orcs. I hope you found that informative. I hope you found it useful. I hope you join us again when I cover another one of the races. I will be trying to do Eldar next. Please come back and join us for that.